What's up everyone, welcome to Workshop Rebuild. In today's episode, I'll be sharing with you guys the final product of the John Deere 317 garden tractor, so stick around. A couple months ago, I shared with you guys the first video that I did on this John Deere 317 right here, and I shared with you guys also the parts tractor that came along with it. So what happened to this garden tractor? The engine didn't work on this garden tractor right here, or it was poorly maintained, and that's why I went through everything, and that's just the way I like to do things. I don't like to start up an engine that's not working, and I don't know how it looks like internally or how the person before me maintained the engine or the machine itself. So I tore down the whole tractor and I took it piece for piece, and then once everything was refurbished or rebuilt, I assembled the whole tractor again. I'll leave a link down below so you guys can watch the whole playlist on the John Deere 317 I rebuilt right in front of me here. I did buy a rebuild kit for the KT17 Series 2 engine right here. The rear end of this tractor was luckily good, so I didn't have to do much on that, but I did reseal everything in the rear of this tractor right here. So the transaxle, everything in between was just fine as well, but I did go through everything, so the steering is much better now. All the linkages work just like they came out of the factory. I gave everything a new paint job, so primer and paint. And in my last video, I shared with you guys how I added some of the decals, and right here in front of me, it's the first time I'm sharing with you guys the finished tractor with the John Deere 317 decal kit. When I purchased this tractor, it did come with a mower deck and a rear tiller, and that's why I have the pulley attachment on the rear of this garden tractor. I may do a rebuild video on a rototiller in the near future, and or a rebuild on a mower deck. If you guys are interested in that, please leave a comment down below. And or if you're interested in anything else that I rebuilt on this tractor right here and you have any questions, just leave a comment down below or even send me an email. Before I purchased this garden tractor right here, I really didn't know what I was getting into. Even though it is a small 17 horsepower garden tractor, there are so many parts within this machine. The engine has a lot of parts, and just everything around the machine has to be put together somehow. So when I disassembled everything, I was left with a huge mess. Then I had to sand everything, primer everything, and paint everything, but then also get everything up and running again the way it should be. On the John Deere 300 that I'm working on currently, I will be doing a separate video, so I'll share with you guys how long it took me to do certain parts of the garden tractor. I'll share with you guys a cost breakdown. So after everything has been purchased or rebuilt or refurbished, I'll share with you guys what it took to rebuild the garden tractor. So for this one right here, I don't know any numbers. I just went after it and rebuilt it. But in the upcoming series of the John Deere 300, I'll share that with you guys. So John Deere made a couple different variations of the 300 series. They started off with the 300, they went up to a 312, 314, 316. They landed on the 317 right here, then they went up to a 318. Everything higher than a 318 had already a diesel engine in it, and those were a little bit more sophisticated and stronger machines. And the 318, I believe most people enjoy because it has the power steering, and that's very handy if you have a front end loader or something heavy up front. This tractor right here has a very poor reputation because of the engine. The Series 1 Kohler engine had some flaws in it, but it could be upgraded to a Series 2, which this one does have. I'm very lucky with that. And everything around the garden tractor is basically the same. So we have the fender, the seat, the hood, and the grill. Everything is basically the same there. The only thing is around the engine. So now the 300 series that I also have just has a smaller engine, so it has different shrouds around the engine compartment over here. The hydraulic system is basically the same. We have two levers right here, and the dash panel is basically the same on every 300 series, I believe. Looking at the rear end, everything is exactly the same as well. So you have two taillights, you have the fuel tank filler cap, which is right there. We have the hydraulic lift system right here, and this one has the option for a rototiller, and that's why it has the pulley right here. This 317 right here has rear tires from a quad. I did not do that, that's the way I purchased it, but I suppose they fit very, very well. And the front tires were from Carlisle, and these ones are in very good condition. Even the nipples are still on there, so I'm glad to have some good tires on this. The mower deck right here is a 48-inch mower deck. I believe some variations were from a 40-inch to a 52-inch, but I'm not sure there. I'd have to check on tractor data. They have a lot of information on that website. And other than that, everything is basically the same. Even the front grille, the hood, and the headlights, everything is basically the same. So they didn't change much on the 300 series, and that's very good. So parts are interchangeable and you can find them readily on the internet. So I didn't want to go into too much detail on this 317 right here because there are various videos on the internet about a 317 garden tractor or a 300 series in general. I was just trying to share with you guys how I do things around here and how I bring machines back to life, and that's what it's all about in my videos. So to start on something that really doesn't work at all and just bring it up to running condition, and then if it's an off-road or on-road vehicle, I try to make it function the way it should. I did attach the mower deck right here to this John Deere and everything works the way it should. I don't want to do too much cutting right here because the weather is very hot and we didn't have much rain. So if I just go and cut the grass right now, it won't grow back as well as it should, or else I have to water the grass. So I won't share with you guys how I mow the grass. I just put the mower deck on it, so it's a complete tractor. I still may do a rototiller video, so how I rebuild a rototiller. That may be a separate series for itself because there is also quite a bit of work involving a rototiller. So I'm going to wrap up this video right here. I really appreciate everybody for liking, subscribing, and commenting. During the whole time I was rebuilding this, it really gave me a boost of motivation to just continue and finish this garden tractor right here. And if you guys do so in the future builds, I'll be more than happy. So stay tuned.